the mic. I am the president of Magic the Gathering at Georgia Tech.
Dang.
Nice.
We have a Magic the Gathering.
What's your affiliation with WreckCon?
I am the chief finance officer.
Oh god.
But
Ooh.
we're here to talk about.
We blame everything.
Hey, we're not here to talk about money.
Oh, yeah.
That's
We're not here to talk
we're
about
here to talk
WreckCon.
about Magic the Gathering. So Jeremy.
What color deck do you run?
Yeah, what color deck do you run?
Oh, I'm a red player.
You're a red player?
Yeah! Fast and Furious.
Yes. Awesome. This is great.
You know, Jeremy, I have something to ask you. We were talking about Trey and how he plays Magic, not so much anymore. And one thing that kept coming up again and again was just how expensive Magic is as a hobby.
It really is.
And I mean, I want to ask you, like, as the president of GT Club sorry, not GT. As a different club.
That's a different club in
As the president of Magic the Gathering at Georgia Tech, I mean, I presume your idea is not to make every student pay however much money to engage in Magic. So how do you get around that, like, as a club?
So, I admit, I agree, Magic is an expensive hobby. But the great thing about the club here is that we are proxy friendly. So if you want to play any deck, you want to play any card.
Why not just friendly? What is proxy friendly?
Oh, proxy friendly means you can print out cards.
Oh.
I don't know how I feel about this, knowing about what I do know about
It's actually a good thing, right? Because we're just playing casually, right? Having fun. We're not having.
You're not like tournament rules.
Yeah. We're not going splitting out prize money.
Yeah.
It's just show up with cards and play. So if you want, you can put cheap cards in there. Go to the printers, print out the deck that you want to play. Slot them in. We love it, right?
Really?
Easy way. It only costs you your print funds. That's how we get around that. You get about
And Georgia Tech does get free print funds. So
Are you repping the school?
interesting. I'm repping the school.
Wow.
And Georgia Tech, man, WreckCon.
So yes, please do not feel like if you want to come play Magic, cost is not a factor. Just print out the cards. We'll have a good time.
I'm surprised there's no like die hard oh man, that's cheap.
No, we actively encourage it. We actively encourage you to print out cards.
Has that always been the case?
Yeah, at the club, yeah, for sure. Like, especially because we're all broke college students, right?
Yeah, I mean we're all broke.
I mean, what's
I have $30
yeah.
spending, I think.
Nice. Yeah. Enough for Magic Tech, though.
Enough for maybe like some draft picks, and that's about it. Y'all commonly run draft?
Yeah.
Wait. What is draft?
That's a great question. Actually. How do you explain draft?
Okay.
I'll leave it to the expert.
For someone who's never experienced it, so basically.
Oh, I thought you meant like you.
I'm trying to no. I'm trying to explain it in a simple way. Basically, you open a pack of booster cards, right? You have 15 cards in the pack. You look at it, you select whatever card you want to play. Maybe the strongest one, the one that looks the coolest, whatever. And this is done with 8 players sitting around a table. So each person is opening a booster pack.
I didn't know there was a discrete number of players that had to do that.
Well, it's usually 8. 8 is the best number. You can do it more or less.
Okay.
You pick one card, and then you pass the rest of the pack to the next person. So it goes around the table. And then the process continues. You'll pick one card from that next pack, pass it along. At the end of this process, you should have enough cards to build your own deck on the fly. So this is a great on-the-fly way to play Magic. It's not everyone has to bring their deck. Just somebody has to bring enough booster packs for people to draft, and you make your deck on the spot. It's actually my favorite way to play.
Really, I mean, it's like you can't really optimize everything based on like every little. Like you kind of have to play with what you're dealt.
Yeah, on the fly.
So everyone's kind of like at the same.
Yeah, like you can't spend years learning a deck or anything like that. You just gotta.
You have to get what you get and somehow make a deck, and you don't know the odds of getting the card. Like if you want to like try and mono blue a draft deck, good luck. Like you know what I mean? So
it's really about being adaptable.
Yeah.
Right? You look at your packs like, oh,
what's
this
card?
card? This could be good
It's
for
all
this
about
strategy.
strategy.
And then you look at the next pack. It's like, oh, it's this card. Trying to weave in.
Towards the end, you're just like, this one. Like, like there's nothing left. You're just like,
alright,
it's okay.
I'll take it.
I'll take the token creature.
At the end, it's like, it's semi-playable.
I mean, it works.
So it tests your deck building skills and your playing skills. It's really, really fun. For the club purposes, we run draft format. So Magic comes out with new sets, so new batches of cards every few months.
Oh, quick aside.
Yeah.
So I stopped playing Magic when the Viking themed deck came out.
Oh.
What was that?
That set was called Couple Time.
That's right. That's Valheim. I kept saying Valheim, like the video game, and I was like, that's not right. Okay,
It was Norse mythology.
Yeah, or Norse. Yeah.
But yeah, back to the main point. Every few months, new cards come out, and there are new draft formats for you to try.
Okay.
So usually every other week, we'll have a box of the newest set for people to draft. And then on every other week, we have something called the Vintage Cube. So for those that don't know, the Vintage Cube is a...
exotic.
It is.
Vintage Cube.
Vintage Cube.
It's a curated collection of cards, basically the most powerful cards from all of Magic's history. And keep in mind, that's like 30 years. Yeah, exactly.
There you go. Anyway.
So yeah, continue. You're saying, talking about what?
Oh, the Vintage Cube.
Vintage Cube.
Yeah. So
Sounds
it's
like fruit.
fruit.
Yeah.
You saw them for fruit.
Dude, I like some Vintage Cube ice cream. Sorry, it's
What do you think that would taste like? Paper cuts?
passion fruit.
Wait a second.
Alright, go ahead. Sorry, derail.
Alright, back to basics. Vintage Cube.
Back to Vintage Cube.
Vintage Cube.
Not ice cream.
Is a curated collection of the most powerful cards in Magic.
Okay.
Right? And basically, that collection of cards is the draft format. So you are drafting the most powerful cards in all of Magic's 30-year history.
But when you guys do Vintage Cube, are you physically getting some kind of thing that costs money, or are you printing these out?
Oh, remember what I said about Proxies? Exactly.
Okay.
Our entire Vintage Cube is made with Proxies, right? All the cards in it are fake, right? Because obviously we bought these cards to be tens of thousands of dollars.
Veiled Mask, we're talking Black Lotus.
I'm talking like the Power 9, like the most powerful.
Yeah, okay.
Those, of course, those would be like
Explain the Power 9.
These are words that mean things.
Yeah, explain the Power 9 to him, he doesn't know. This is terminology that I elected to not choose, so that way you understand. I dumbed it down for you.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, just literally from the name, the Power 9, I feel like something is not something is not healthy there, I don't know.
No, the Power 9 simply refers to the 9 most powerful cards in Magic's history.
Which Black Lotus would be one of them.
Black Lotus is one of them. Yes. Look at you. Look at you knowing that.
I'm immature. I don't know the rest.
No.
So yes, but the cube includes this collection of cards.
The cube.
It's about I think 500 cards or so.
Yeah, you know, I did have a question. So earlier we were talking about like different like tournament formats, so like even like what was it? Like,
Modern,
yeah,
standard,
modern,
and
standard,
historic.
historic. So like I kind of wanted to ask like really how bad is the balancing in Magic? Like over a few years.
Historic's busted.
Like is it really that like spread out as far as balancing goes? Like
I think it varies year to year. I will genuinely say, I think it's okay right now.
Yeah.
It's not the worst, but here's the thing about card gamers.
Yeah.
They will always complain. You give them
Yeah.
new format, you said, they'll always
The
complain
Georgia
about
Tech way.
They'll complain about something.
Yeah.
That's not even
So-
just Georgia Tech, it's just card players.
I personally am not one to complain too much. So
Yeah.
I think the balance is okay. Yeah, there's a lot of different formats and different ways to play. So basically, if you want to play Magic, there's a good way for you to engage.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun.
Oh.
I mean, there's so many different ways to play Magic. I mean, you got the draft way, you got Commander, which is you play with a 100 card deck. There's no repeats.
Yeah, single
And
ton
you have
format.
a
Cool.
Planeswalker,
Just a legendary.
a legendary creature. That's what it is. And then
But yeah.
standard, modern, historic.
Yeah, the other ones are 60 card formats, which are more geared towards competitive 1v1
I mean,
play.
technically, you don't have to run 60 cards in a tournament.
You technically don't, but you should.
You should. Yeah, I agree. Also, I've heard this from a friend. I need to confirm this.
Okay.
But the tournament rule is you can have a card, like a deck of cards, be as big as you want, as long as you can shuffle it with 2 hands.
Yes.
That's real?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that. I thought you could just, make the forever deck. But like, I didn't know that that was actually a rule. You had
Well,
to be able to do it.
You might be thinking about something from Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh, is that real?
So, a while back, and I don't remember like precise here.
It's okay. We've been talking about trading card games.
Yeah.
Yeah, but somebody brought to a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament a deck that was like this long, right?
It's
like,
over, Yugi.
No, like there's a picture online of like 2 people carrying this deck.
Wait, I think I've seen that exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
And you know what that deck was filled with?
What?
Every single card that made you search your library, search your deck,
Oh
shuffle,
my gosh.
right?
Yeah.
So you just find whatever you needed?
No. He sat there and trolled every single one of his opponents. Every single game went to time. He drew every single game. Because all he would do is, I play this card, I have to shuffle my deck. And then he would have to search his library for
By the time the first turn is done, game over.
It's game over, man.
And then after that, I think the Yu-Gi-Oh! Organization changed their rules around.
Well,
Like,
Alright, so that makes more sense.
Now I'm interested. What is your experience with other card games besides Magic? Like,
currently. Yeah, so I've actually done a little bit of Pokemon TCG in my youth.
Oh yeah, also in our elementary school
And
middle school days.
we were literally talking about how when we were younger, we would collect the cards, but nobody knew how to play the game.
I knew how to play the game.
Okay,
I was
okay.
the only person,
Only
and
person knew how to play
no
the
one
game.
knew how to or did not
Yeah,
want
yeah.
to learn.
You're no longer in touch with Pokemon though?
I was actually one who knew how to play the game.
Nice.
Yeah, that was
Exactly.
exactly elementary school. I went to this like regional for kids under whatever age. I forget, under 12 or something.
And obviously you were first place.
No, I got third place.
Oh.
Damn.
Yeah.
Come on, man, you gotta get that this time.
Here's the kicker: there were 4 people there, so.
Well, I mean, at least you were in fourth.
This,
That's
I
all you
wasn't
got.
last. Yeah, but you know, saying I was third is a lot better.
It does actually. Because even if you didn't know, there was only like 4 people.
But yeah, it was definitely just some young kid thing.
What about now? What about now?
Right now, the game I'm engaged in competitively is one called Flesh and Blood. It's
Oh
actually
yeah, you get into all kinds of different games.
Oh yeah, I love TCGs.
Yeah.
There's a reason I'm the president of Magic Club. I just play card games all day. But yeah, I engage in that one competitively. Magic is a more casual experience for me now. But Flesh and Blood, out there
What
trying to grind.
Can you give an elevator pitch?
Imagine Street Fighter, but in card game form. That's the best way I can do
Yes.
it.
Like if I know king.
That just sounds sick.
It's not exactly that. You know, are there any characters that shoot energy balls? I don't know. It is high fantasy.
It's okay.
So yeah, you're classic. Just you represent a character and brawl it out with someone. It's really
Just like you put cards on the table and the first turn is taking punches at each other.
Yeah, you put cards, you reach across and you're just fucking talking.
Alright, you took 1 damage.
That's
hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would encourage people to check out Flesh and Blood as well. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I was interested in something you said a little earlier though. When you're talking about proxies, you said that like Magic Club is super supportive of this, and like you want people. Is this like, how is this like across the broader Magic community as a whole?
Or I guess other card communities that.
Yeah, maybe even other card communities. Like how does this
How's that
connect to?
I think in general they're more accepted. I think the problem with the culture was that there was a time of
Just
like
the trading card game. culture.
yeah, just like gatekeeping the
Like authenticity
Yeah.
of the cards
Yeah.
you're playing. But like at the end of the day, you're all just sitting down and playing it.
exactly. That's what I mean. It's like
You want to play the game, and you want to play with the cards you get, rather than spending $1,000 trying to get the cards you want.
yeah, in a sense, I agree for tournament play, right? Like if
Yeah,
you go in
no,
a tournament and winning money,
Yeah.
yeah, I
You should
agree.
probably
We should
have
have, like,
cards.
physical
You guys have
cards.
only like checks and balance on like. I mean, you can literally buy individual cards online. There's websites for that. So like, I mean, it's not that bad.
But if you're just sitting down on a Friday to play with friends,
Might as well.
why wouldn't you print everything
Yeah, like,
out?
why would you limit yourself by
Exactly. And like in this experimentation, like people get to try new decks, try new ideas, have fun, and then if they like it a lot, they'll probably just buy the real cards anyway.
There you go.
Exactly. So it's good for the company, right? They get the business. So
There you go.
I do believe that the community is a lot better these. Proxies are encouraged across the board nowadays. So yes, always include proxies. Always encourage them. It makes for a good
That
time.
sounds cool. I mean, it's like, there's like, you don't want to have a monetary barrier. It's just like, it's a game that people play. It's fun. Like, same thing with D&D. Like, D&D is.
I mean, you don't have to physically roll dice, but like, I have seen people come in without dice sets and literally not physically roll, but virtually roll dice.
Yeah, I mean,
like, dude, just borrow a dice. Here you go.
You're always looking for ways to limit like the barrier of people access. And I mean, one thing I
It's all
remember
about
from
accessibility.
one thing I remember from the very one GT Magic the Gathering Club event that I went to was like that. It was way more friendly than I was expecting. Because like I mean, you walk into like a room with a bunch of hardened veterans, and you're expecting to like get schooled.
Well, they're not all
It's like,
veterans because you got schmucks like you walking.
yeah, that's true. But hey, I will not. I felt like the only shmup there. That was not.
Schmucked on.
I was not feeling like I had a lot of newbie friends. But I mean, it didn't matter. I mean, everybody was really friendly. It was a very nice community. Yeah.
We have so the club has in its locker. We have a lot of starter equipment and just extra burner cards, right? Because the veterans will care less about random bulk. Like, so I'll collect it, put it in the locker, right? A new player comes in. I go, hey, here's starter decks. I'll teach you how to play. And if you want to keep any cards, here are the cards that the other community care about.
members do you have to teach Magic the Gathering to on a date, like on a per semester average? Would you say? Because honestly, I'm just interested in people trying to learn Magic the Gathering.
I think
because I feel like the basic barrier is not only cost; it's that the game is perceived to be hard by outsiders, and it's really it can be hard. If you have someone who has no idea what they're doing, explain the game to you.
I think so. I'm gonna say like maybe every semester we get 2 to 3 new players, and I know that sounds low, but the reality of it is that if you play Magic, it's because your friends play Magic.
Right.
So oftentimes what I see at the club is that I'll see a new face, but one of their friends have taught them. So like, and it grows in that sense.
Okay.
A completely new player saying, I want to learn Magic and going to the club happens less often. It's more so that I'm like, hey, I play this great game. You should
That's my Magic.
I just want to come and to the club room and try this out.
Magic.
So I teach you guys and then bring you guys to the club room. That happens very, very often.
Where is the club room in case people on the WreckCast might want to?
We host meetings every Friday in the student center on the 3rd floor in the north side room. So,
3rd floor.
7 p.m. on Fridays.
Very nice.
So you'll, and it's very visible. If you just walk down the corridor, you'll see there's always just people, playing
Playmats and
playing
stuff
cards.
like that.
You know, the classic like card game.
Oh, they're clearly doing finance over there.
Throwing cards.
Yeah.
We're cardboard good.
No, I mean definitely like on the point you were saying about like your friends play Magic. That's what I mean. Trading card games. I would imagine like the goal is that they're like a communal event, right? They're like ways for you to interact with your peers.
Truly
In a
is a
way.
culture. Yeah, because you're sitting face to face with someone when you're playing the game, right? So it's a lot different than like, I'm gonna get into some video game and just sit down there.
That's
Speaking of that.
Exactly. We were just talking about that together in Arena.
Yes.
What do you like? How does that connect? Because I guess like if you play on Magic the Gathering Arena, like primarily, then you're in it mostly for the game, I would presume, right? Rather than maybe the more like the more collection or the more like communal aspect of it.
I recommended earlier in the episode that if you're trying to get into Magic and you don't have anyone that knows it, play Magic the Gathering Arena because it's free to play and it does actually a great job in just calculating things.
I agree wholeheartedly. I think
this is not a sponsorship.
No, Arena's tutorial is very good for learning the game. If you just want to learn how to play it, go ahead and log on Arena. That being said, the game's economy is dog water. I don't want to be too mean, but
you would say this to Gavin Verhey's face.
I would like.
Okay, well there you go.
Gavin Verhey doesn't make Arena. I'm pretty sure.
Like the economy is just not new player friendly.
So by the economy, I mean like how you
acquire cards.
Yeah, you pay money.
Right. Like you can't print out things.
But if you want to learn the game,
I would
then start getting into drafts or even print out cards. Do that.
Yeah.
Probably.
Exactly. Get on Arena, learn how to play the game.
And
come in person. I'm telling you, card games are a lot more fun in person. I agree.
I mean, same thing with D&D, like.
Yeah, this in person D&D is just a lot better. So
I mean, same thing with trading card games. It's like a. I say this very hesitantly, but it is like a type of board game. Like,
that's completely
cardboard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. There's physical, similarity.
To that point, the most popular format in Magic is Commander, like you mentioned earlier. It's 4-player free-for-all, right? It's basically a board game feel.
Whenever I play Commander, it's only a matter of time before one dude's like, alright, I'm attacking. Most of the time I see people like just building up, and then as soon as one guy's like, alright, attacking, everyone's like, gank him. Because you got 3 turns before that person goes. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
And then you're sitting there, it's like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to survive till my turn.
It's the Cold War until someone hits. So it
Oh,
really
yeah,
is.
it's like
Commander's fun. Play some Commander. There's actually Commander pre-built sets if you're trying to get into that too. You know, if you care not to.
I mean, you can always just print your.
I mean, you can, but like, you know, people do care about that. There are Commander pre-built decks. That's actually a big. I think my first deck I ever got was a Commander deck.
Yeah, they're very popular now. Wizards of the Coast makes a lot of them because they're easy. Yeah.
What's the Planeswalker? Chandra? Chandra that's red?
Yes.
Yeah,
I don't know if she was
that was my first.
I don't know if that was a commander though.
Was it not?
I don't think so.
Dang, Trey.
Oh, maybe. No, wait. Yeah. No, it wasn't. Okay, that sucks. It was a 60 card deck. It was like, man, that was like 2018.
No, but still, like, Wizards makes a lot of commander precons.
Yeah.
So, once again, one of the easiest way to get it in the game, buy a commander precon, come to the club and be like, I want to play a lower power level, learning the game, and and people will bring out their lower power decks and they play with you. Perfect. Like,
Your stats to these decks, kill rates and stuff.
yeah,
Track.
well, it's more so that like when you're
My
playing
decks know exactly what's
Right.
against you.
Well, think about it this way: when you're playing 1v1, you're just trying to beat the others.
Right.
You build the most powerful deck, right? When you're playing 4-player free-for-all,
Yeah, it's just Cold War.
well, here's the thing: it's not very fun if one player has a really powerful deck and the
Oh,
other three.
yeah.
Right, so what a lot of the commander players will do is have a range of power levels. And when the table is balanced, that's when it's the most fun. So,
So how hard is it to like balance a table, so to speak? Like is it?
Well, I don't think they're actively attempting.
Well, but I mean,
they just start attacking when they feel like.
so maybe a different question is like how do you determine the power level of a given deck?
Oh, do you?
Well, their scouter.
Yeah.
Goes. And it may or may not be over 9,000.
Good point.
That was a terrible reference.
No,
I'm
that
so
was
sorry.
phenomenal.
I did not understand that reference.
If only we had
It's
a
a Dragon Ball
Club.
Z. Dragon Ball Z
Denver here.
reference.
If only Flavio was here, the anime club rep. But-
Well,
There you go. Okay.
yeah,
But
power levels.
let me get your question straight. It's
Okay.
4 people sit down at a table and they want to play commander. How do they balance
Yeah,
the table? The way commander works is you usually have one champion like headlining your deck, right? In general, some are more powerful than others. They can build up their reputations for certain power levels, right? And in general, people will just self-select and they'll also explain, this is a goofy themed deck.
Oh, dude, the unhinged one.
This deck goes goofy style.
No. We haven't even talked about that. Do you like is it unhinged? That's like joke.
All the
magic.
unsets, yeah, there's been a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
Unstable.
So there's some cards to these. There's joke magic, yeah. Okay. So like some of these cards are like.
This deck is.
No, it's just funny. It really is because it's like, yeah, you can play this card for free if you can throw it onto the table from 5 feet away. Like that's a card that exists. And there's one, my favorite is it's like the genie one. It's like cheeky Afreet or something like that. I forget. But basically, you can sneak it onto the table during your opponent's turn. You know what I'm talking about?
The card is called Cheaty Face.
Cheaty Face, thank you. So you can sneak it onto the card while your opponent is playing the game, and it gets to your turn. It's legal. If he notices it goes in your graveyard, but whatever.
Wow, that sounds like.
Yeah, it's
pretty
It's
fun.
a very interesting guy.
Yeah, there's some really interesting ways.
There's an old story about this guy who he played a card that lets you search your library for as many copies of a land as you want and put it face down under it. I'm not gonna get into details, but the point is he played this card, searched his library for like 30 something copies of planes and put it underneath it. And his opponents were like, okay, that's an interesting card. It got to his turn. And he was like, oh yeah, you guys all got me. He flipped it over as 30 GD faces.
Oh my god.
So,
Dude, he's playing a cheaty face per turn. He's got 30 in his freaking deck. Holy crap.
Oh man.
I guess it's a 0 mana cost technically.
Yeah,
it
it
is.
is.
You know, this kind of brings up so like obviously like joke decks seem like very funny and very, very interesting, but like my question is like how stringent, how different would you say like, you know, casual like daily play is from like tournament play, like in actual Magic the Gathering games, like how does that?
Asking casual chess to competitive chess.
We have a chess is still chess.
What?
But like, you know, you don't like ban pieces in chess. Like, you know, like this,
You can't castle in this tournament.
Yeah, only one bishop in this tournament. Like, that's not what it is.
Okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
I think it varies a lot because the cards that are good in a 4-player free-for-all are most of the time not good.
Yeah,
in
like a 1-for-1.
Right? Because you'll have some effect that's like all your opponents do this negative effect and you gain such for each opponent, right? But that doesn't do anything when you're playing one person. The other thing about it is the 4-player version is more social oriented, right? Gives mechanics and gameplay suited for that board game style of play versus in tournaments, you're just trying to kill your opponent, right? You would never make a deal with your opponent and say, hey, if I don't kill you this turn, I'll do this, right? That doesn't matter. If I kill you, I win the game, right? So, yeah, the cards that are good vary between formats. So I would say, and the thing is that's common between is the players, right? I love Magic, so I love both aspects. I'll play the 60 card.
Trying to kill the guy. Like,
I'm trying to kill you before.
I'm trying to kill you.
Right.
There's a red deck, right? That's Trey was teaching me about all this.
Lightning bolt.
I had a quiz on him. He actually got most of them right. What the general technique is.
That's a Georgia Tech mind.
Engineering mindset.
Yes, sir.
I taught him mono red, mono green, like splash white, like all that.
No, I mean, I can tell it's definitely different, like very different, like styles of play. It's like it definitely probably different emotions that go through your head when you're playing.
Different colors.
Do you play in like any regular Magic tournaments?
Not really.
Okay.
Like I said, my competitive endeavor now is Flesh and Blood.
I have to ask though, you're a red player, but like, are you mono red? Like, what's the tech here? Mono red's pretty great.
My secondary color is blue.
Oh my god. The red blue counter.
Well, I like the tempo kind of play style,
like you just deny your opponent. It's just denial when you're playing wide.
If I was to put this into like layman's terms, what I would say is that a red blue deck is like if you hate having fun.
If you want the other guy to have no fun.
No. Having
no fun.
Having no fun is blue and white. That one's different.
So I don't even get that one.
Because blue is the counter spells, and white is the kill spells. What white blue is trying to do is just stop everything your opponent's doing, right? Whereas as a red blue player, it's more likely that I present a threat in red usually, and I back it up with like tempo plays in blue. So it's not necessarily stopping you; I'm just delaying you so my fast stuff can work.
All right, different question.
Okay.
How do you feel about rainbow decks?
5-color?
Yeah.
I think
I wish they were more viable than they are. But like, if you're actually buying.
When did you stop playing, Trey?
I stopped playing during
Jeremy's about to be like, Trey, the best deck in the world is in 5-color.
Okay.
Call time. So unless it's changed since then.
Yeah, I will say in recent years, rainbow decks have gotten a lot better.
Because Call Time had like cards that were multicolored, like a lot more than usual. There's also multicolored cards. I don't know if you knew that. There's like green black.
The set after you stop. Oh wait, is it?
I don't know.
Oh no, a year after you stop playing, there's a set that was like very multicolored.
Okay.
It's called Streets of Nuke. So yeah, that doesn't mean anything to you guys.
No. Hey.
It means that means something.
Rainbow.
It means less to him and less to me, but it might.
Do you want me to break down color philosophy? I think it's.
I mean, we had him dumb it down for anyone who didn't.
Yeah.
So just go crazy with the color philosophy.
Okay, I'll explain to you from a gameplay perspective.
Okay.
Talk to me like I'm an amateur, and then I talk to him like
No, you guys and our audience are smarter than pickers. So listen here.
So like color theory, red, green.
Yeah,
the counters.
Yeah.
No, we kind of are, right?
It's more so like the deck building cost. So there's 5 colors in Magic, right?
Oh yeah, I didn't mention that. Yeah.
Right, white, blue, black, red, and green.
Yeah.
Right? You need the proper colors to cast them, and that comes from your lands.
Yeah.
There's 1 land from each color
Okay.
of Magic.
You can only play 1 land per turn.
Okay.
But what that means is you need a consistency in order to cast your spells. So here's an example. let's say I have a mono red deck, right? Okay. All of my lands.
I'm just making sure mono red means only red.
Only red.
Okay, only red.
All
Maybe
of,
some grays in there.
Oh,
I mean, it's a thing.
Sure. So all your lands produce red mana, which means you will 100% of the time be able to cast your spells because there's no
Sort of.
Look, I'm explaining it.
Okay.
But the point is, all your
Let the man cook.
all your
Let him cook. Let him cook.
all your spells are red.
Okay. So you'll always have them.
Yeah. So you're very consistent.
Yeah.
But you're restricted to red. You can only do what red can do, right? Now let's think about our rainbow deck. You have access to all 5 colors of Magic.
Yeah.
Right? You have practically every effect across the board.
Yeah.
But what do you lose for that? You lose consistency.
Yeah.
Because you need lands that produce all 5 colors, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes you won't have the right land colors
Well, then you
to
have,
cast your
you
spells.
also can have like multicolored lands.
Mhm.
I forget. I'm sure there's one, but I can't think.
Yeah,
So it's like a balance between like
It's-
you want like more utility, if that makes sense, but like you also want the consistency. Right?
Yeah, the simplest way to break down is consistency versus power.
But usually multicolored lands enter tabs.
Yeah.
From what I remember.
So
Which means you can't use them.
basically, less colors means more consistency,
Yeah.
but less power, and more colors means more power, but less consistency.
Okay.
Yeah. There's more like you can play the options you have to have control of the board is more resilient when you have more than one color because you have options. When you play one, you're like restricted to that one play style practically.
So when you say like it's either more consistency or more power, you just said that rainbow decks in recent years have become a lot better.
Yeah.
Why doesn't everyone play rainbow decks? like I would be like, hey, I mean, if they're all like,
Short answer.
you know, if the idea is that they're all much better now, then why not?
Yeah. Let me answer Trey's question from earlier.
Okay.
What about rainbow decks? Why do I think they're more powerful now? Is because the lands that Wizards has printed in recent years, facilitate multicolored decks.
Yeah, that was always my problem. I always tried to run.
So okay, they fix the
So,
consistency.
I think it's too easy to run more colors in your deck.
Interesting.
Whereas old days of Magic, there was a genuine cost to running more
Yeah,
colors.
because like at most you run 2 with a splash or something, you know, to be consistent.
So like they've opened up like, you know, you can kind of just throw whatever crap in there. Hey, you probably you probably work it out like.
There's less of a cost.
Yeah.
Now to answer your question, why doesn't everybody play Rainbow?
It's boring.
It's not. It's so fun until you can't do anything.
No, more and more decks are Rainbow. Are more 3, 4, 5 color decks. But like I said, the cost isn't negative. There is still a cost. So sometimes you will have 1 and 2 color decks. I'm just saying it's easier to run.
But sometimes you just end up getting screwed, even if you play mono. You could draw lands for the rest of yours every single turn until you die. It really doesn't matter.
So
It can happen.
I have another question. This is maybe a little more abstract, but it seems like the public perception towards certain colors is like so. Like it seems like when people think like blue deck, they're like wow, no, no. Or like
It's
whatever
all
you said,
this,
white
no.
and blue, right? Just because it's soft and what is the public perception towards rainbow decks? Like if somebody pulled up a rainbow deck, like, what do you think? What's your
That's
meaning?
rad.
What's your
That's
meaning?
fine.
They're more common now, so.
Okay. It's like normal people.
Yeah, but here, let me explain the blue dichotomy.
Yeah.
The thing about blue is that it has counterspells.
Yeah.
Everyone associates it with no,
Yeah.
which is the most polarizing thing in the game.
Yeah.
Because some people love it,
Mill.
and some people hate
Here's
it.
mill. Draw.
So
This is one of them that hates.
So I feel
Stop. Dude, keeping me
You
from
know,
doing the things I need to do.
I feel like if you have like somebody playing a blue deck on some side of the board, I feel like it's pretty easy to tell which one is going to be liking it and which one is going to be hating
Yes, that's the
You know,
problem
that's
with
a-
blue decks.
it. Yeah.
Mono blue can really make you, because there's also a different quality. I don't know if this has been downplayed in the past, but when I was playing, blue decks would make you mill, which is like they would play a card and it would be like mill 3 cards. You take these cards from your deck, put them in your graveyard. And they could really make that stack, so where they could kill you from just like having nothing left in your deck, your drawing deck. But if you're black, it kind of works in your favor. But other than that, blue has a lot of different facets. They're just control. That's really the main aspect.
Here's an interesting facet of that is that Magic players are are so
Dumb.
Not dumb.
Yeah.
No, but there's so much psychological
Yeah.
play that goes
Yeah.
into it.
Yeah.
Because here's the funny thing about mill, right? It doesn't matter until you have 0 cards
Yeah, it really doesn't.
left, right? Because people
So mill is the act of drawing.
You draw. and then
milling
you-
is the act. Milling is the act of putting a card directly from your library into your graveyard.
Okay. So like, okay.
Yeah. So here's the psychological thing about it. What people don't realize is that at the start of your turn, you still draw a card. What makes people feel bad is when someone mills their really good card, right? It goes through your graveyard, like, no, I didn't get to draw it. But here's the chance, you just got unlucky. There's another time where they milled you, where they milled a bad card and you drew the good card, right? It doesn't matter until you run out of cards in the deck. It's the same as your life total, right? It doesn't matter until your life total hits.
I mean, I forget what the card was, but there was a planeswalker that would make you, if it got to like, I don't know, like 12 life or something, and make you mill like, or make you draw like half the deck that you had currently, or whatever's left. I forget what it is. It was a blue.
There's multiple effects.
Yeah.
I can't remember specifically
At
off
the
the
time,
time.
it's something. I forget.
Some Teferi or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, it's a far. Yeah, I'm pretty sure
I don't
that was it.
know.
I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
It's something like draw, but anyways, like they're just controlled. That's all they do. They tell you what you can and cannot do, and then that's basically.
And that's the funniest part about it too. So when I'm playing blue and I counterspell your creature, how dare me, right? How do you feel when you play the creature and then I play a black kill spell on it? I play Doomblade or Murder on it.
Well, at least it wasn't blue.
Yeah, exactly. But in both those scenarios, it was a 1-for-1 trade. I traded my card for your cards by counterspelling it, or I traded 1-for-1 by murdering your creature, right? It's the same.
I will die so.
Well, I feel better.
No, but that's
I
why
feel
it's so
better
fun.
'cause at least I got my guy out there in the
Yeah,
first place.
at
It's like
least-
he got on the board.
Look, at least he was
You
there.
made it.
He was there for 0.1 seconds. Didn't do anything and then died
But
anyways.
yeah, I feel better about him than like he never got there.
But
in the
it's
first
so
place.
psychological. Magic players are just in their own head. So
You know,
and Trey is
I-
a perfect example.
Yeah.
I'm kind of interested in this because it seems like, you know, you're describing like milling, like when you have like an empty deck. It seems like there's more than one like win condition. And,
Oh
like,
yeah.
one given time.
Technically.
So,
I mean, no matter what the win condition is, if you're
Yeah,
playing
is
ones
you
out,
lose out. But like the maybe the goalposts like to getting there like fairly.
there's a way to do it where you make your opponent have no cards to draw, and then every turn they take -1, and then the next turn it's -2, -3, -4, -5, or whatever they can.
Oh no, that's Hearthstone.
That's Hearthstone? What am I? Oh, they just lose.
Yeah, in Magic, if
Yeah.
you can't draw because your library is empty, you just lose.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah, I'm thinking about. Yeah, you're right.
So that's a certain type of win condition, I guess. Is this like used?
In various formats. It's not too common
I've seen
nowadays.
I've seen some pretty insane milling decks. I mean, all it is though, if you want to kill someone with milling, it's like you need a certain setup. Like you need like basically your deck is nothing but like those cards that achieve that end and control your opponent to the point where you have once you have a certain like thing going on in your hand, you can do it, and your opponent's basically like they got like maybe a turn.
So it's more of a gamble than anything.
Yeah.
There's not really like consistency there, I
It is-
presume.
I mean, sometimes there is. It's just from what I've seen, but I mean,
It's just a different strategy.
Yeah. It's not that fun though. It's never fun to play against
Yeah.
that.
So
It really isn't. You don't get to play the game. I mean, it is what it is.
So I asked Trey this question earlier, and we decided to shelve it until we got a real expert. But so you said something. You said like, for example, that like rainbow decks are more common because recently like Wizards made it easier.
Made the
to-
land bases.
Yeah, they made it more
better.
easier. So I wanted to ask you because he also Trey said something like what is it like historic is the
Historic is like all of them.
yeah he said like historic is so broken. So like
Yeah.
my question is like, are there like very easy to chart like trends over time? Like is there like a way Magic is moving that like you can kind of see with like how it develops over time? Like are old cards like one way and are new cards like a certain way? Like I don't know, does that question make sense? Like
Are you asking more in terms of the formats that you can play in, or just design in general?
yeah, just like design in general, I think.
Like technical game design.
Yeah.
Okay. I think this is more of a power creep.
So-
from an expert.
So what do you mean
So-
power creep?
So how do you sell? So let's say you're somebody making cards, right? How do you sell your game? How do you get people to buy your product?
Dude, look at this cool game. It's so much fun. Look at how fun my game is.
I'd buy it.
Also, I have this new epic card that you can buy now.
Yes, your new epic card, right? Right
My
there.
new card.
It's very powerful. It's
Oh,
more
nuances.
powerful
Okay.
than anything else in the game ever created.
Oh.
People will buy that,
Shoot.
right?
Okay.
But
then the shelf life of your game goes down, right? Because you can only push your power so much, right? You can only push it up so much.
you gotta keep it consistent,
Right.
at least.
So, but that's the easiest way to sell products now, right?
Yeah.
How do you make the game last a long time? You have to build sideways, right? You have to build new strategies, new ways to play.
Ah.
But
That-
you know, they kind of are saved by the idea of the standard, technique where you can only play.
Yeah, I'll get
that
that.
actually is.
But yeah, that's the card gamer designs conundrum, which is right. We want to push the power a little bit so that people will buy the product. The competitive players will have.
And the old stuff cycles out.
Yeah.
But you also
They
need to
want
provide enough new techniques.
new techniques, new ways to engage in the game,
Then it doesn't feel like, you just have to have like the best, biggest thing or whatever.
right? Like, because you could sell cards just by putting a really big number on it.
Yeah, for
That's not
100, 100, let's go.
Exactly.
Yeah, like that's, oh my god, you
But
gotta
then-
have
Who wouldn't buy that card?
But then it wouldn't be funny. Now, to answer your question about rotation, the way Magic does its formats, one of its formats is called standard, which means certain pockets of cards rotate out at a time. So, for example, standard right now is approximately the last 2 years of sets released,
Right, it was
right?
the last two rotations, so it's 2 years.
It changes.
Oh, it does? Great, love it.
Let's go.
It's inconsistent.
Consistency.
Consistency and inconsistency.
Yeah, that is a little something
That's
that
rough.
they could work on. But yeah, right now it's about the last 2 years of sets.
Is
And
it
then,
really, do they just call an audible like, these sets are consistent with each other, drop that, drop that, drop that one?
I'm not getting into specifics because it has to do with like set structure and things, but it has changed a bit over the years.
Yeah.
But yeah, rotation is also a way to keep formats fresh. So, and then you were asking about formats earlier, right? Standard is like approximately the last 2 years of cards are legal. Modern is a set with, no, that's from 2008.
Yeah.
So any card printed after 2008 is legal in Modern.
yeah.
So that's, for example, that's a higher power.
Historic is like heavy.
No, this is
We're
why
learning.
you're wrong.
We're
Historic
learning.
is a Magic the Gathering arena only format.
This is untrue. This is untrue.
This is true.
No, I've literally went up to my
Only
friends and my
format?
friends introduced it
Wait,
before Arena
that's
came out.
No,
This is wrong.
An
No,
arena
no.
only
If,
format.
no,
This is wrong.
Historic is a format that only exists online.
Wait, why?
Why?
Because there are
Go off.
okay, this is
It's like, I don't want to make you presume on like the economic policy of Wizards of the Coast.
this is completely accurate, but
Just
for-
explain
Oh my
it
God.
for the sake.
we got hypothesizing.
Let me explain to you where it got historic.
for the sake of simplicity, historic is any card legal on Magic the Gathering Arena. Arena doesn't have all cards in the history of Magic,
Oh.
right? They only started coding in the cards at a certain
I learned about historic through my friend who was like, hey, we'll just play historic, which means you can play any card ever created.
Your friend
was
was
wrong. And also,
That format
this
is-
was before Arena came out.
that format's called Legacy.
So,
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, okay. That makes more sense.
So-
So, call it historic. You
interesting.
remember that.
So like Magic the Gathering Arena, even though it's like a everything goes, they still have like some quote unquote banned cards that just aren't like on the
Yeah.
game.
There's still a ban list. You might be talking about something different.
Oh, I don't. Yeah.
But yeah, some cards are not coded on there
Yeah.
because the game has been around for 30 years.
Yeah,
And
so-
Arena has been around for what, 5,
Yeah.
6 years?
I want to say 6. Yeah, 2018.
But yeah, 2018, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, that's about right.
Interesting. I seem like-
Pre-COVID, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I do remember playing a little bit in high school.
Yeah, interesting. Well, on that note, maybe we should turn away from theory a little bit. I do want to ask, just because I'm interested.
It
like,
can
how
only
did-
get you so far.
Yeah, what was your like first experience with Magic like?
What was my
Yeah.
first?
Yeah, I just
Oh,
want to know
right.
where did it come from.
I thought we were talking about
Where did it go?
RedCon.
No,
Where did it go wrong?
we gotta go way back, man. We'll talk about that. Don't worry.
Okay. My first experience with
Yeah.
Magic was at a summer camp in 5th grade.
And you were 3 years old. No, no.
Wait, how old are you in 5th grade?
1, 2, 3. Okay, we'll go 12. 12.
Well, I was pretty young.
I have been 13 when you go to the 6th grade.
I have been playing Magic for over a decade.
Dang.
But yeah,
I can't even say about D&D, that's crazy.
I think I started playing back in sophomore year of high school. So
More than a decade.
But yeah, I remember at that summer camp, some kid brought in a set. He was like, "Oh, here's one deck of each color. I'll teach you guys how to play Magic." He taught us completely wrong.
you just kind of made up the rules.
Yeah.
That's how people play Pokemon back in elementary school. They're
Well,
like, oh, this
yeah,
means that.
yeah, I don't play with energy. You're like, what is going on?
Ailments are in a thing. You can't poison anything.
So I had, go on. I had to go to my Pokemon.
No. But I have a similarly absurd story. We played Mana Rush, right? Because normally you would play one mana turn.
Yeah.
In his version,
You play as many as you want.
you could play as many as you want.
Okay.
So right, on turn 1, someone would be like, "Here's 6 lands. Here's my thing that's only supposed to come out on turn 6, but it's here on turn 1," and we would attack each other. And that's how I first learned about the game.
Okay.
And yeah, but I loved it so much that I went and bought my own cards and started playing with friends at school and such. So, and then I've been,
And you taught them the right way.
yeah, I taught them.
Nice.
I read the rule book.
Yeah, you
guys.
read the rule book. That's good.
So yeah, and then yeah, I've been hooked ever since.
I have yet to find someone who hasn't been taught by a friend how to play Magic the Gathering. You'd be the first person to say, "Oh, I read the rule book."
I taught myself.
That's
like,
interesting. You're the first person I've ever heard.
I mean, he kind of had to. His friend was like spouting nonsense.
I mean, yeah,
like,
that's fair. But
Yeah, you
like,
gotta
how
have
did
someone.
you know that he's not saying the right things? How did you get to
I did it. It was more so I was reading the rule book and I was like,
Wait a minute. Whoa.
Where's the fine print?
One
One
thing
land per turn?
"Whoa, that's so slow."
That's so
That's so slow. You tell me I can't get my fucking trillion level character
On turn 1, yeah.
Yeah.
1 trillion.
1 trillion.
Power toughness.
So yeah, I've loved it ever since. Like I loved it enough to come here and start the Magic Club here.
Yeah.
Right.
Did you start Magic Club?
It's more so that there was always an existing like group of players,
Skeleton group at least.
but it had kind of died down because of the pandemic.
Ah.
And then when I got here, also the game store nearby had closed because of the pandemic. And I was like,
rough.
well, I'm just gonna take the group of players that are here and turn it into an official club. So I did the paperwork, I did all the in the meetings, and it's official club. So we have a meeting room now.
Now the official despot of Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, that's me. I've been stuck in this role.
Mr. Gathering himself.
Mr. Gathering. First name Magic.
Yeah.
First name Magic, last name The.
Like Magic Gathering.
But yeah, the point is now that the club is an official Georgia Tech club, we have a space to reserve. We can get funding from certain places, right? It's easier to advertise, and yeah, the club's been growing and growing. I am gonna look for a protege for once I graduate, but for now, I have very much enjoyed.
Wait, when are you graduating?
This semester.
You're just now looking?
It's kind of like the sense that
Azeez will be here for a little bit longer.
I'm not.
Are you saying you're not going to try going back to Magic the Gathering?
You know, I learned how to play the game today. I learned what the different colors were today.
Let's play Magic the Gathering card game.
Yeah.
Let's see what-
RedCast.
I bet you have some on you.
not right now.
Oh man. That's my.
Yeah. Come on, where's your deck, man?
I have some flesh up cards in my pocket.
Yeah.
You
Dude,
know?
how does the Magic the Gathering president not just
Just
pull down his
carry.
pants and like pull down a commander deck? and-
Pull down your pants and what?
Yeah, I got two ready.
We'll fact check this. Where's your dice?
They're in my backpack.
There you go.
I keep my dice are always. Why can't you say the same, Jeremy?
I have cards in my pocket,
You have cards in your pocket.
but they're not. They're not magic cards.
Oh my.
They're
Alright,
they're flush blood
no,
cards.
I think this fits. This fits.
This fits.
This is just
As
an accident.
dice isn't like,
Dude.
strict, dice isn't just strictly D&D. The cards,
Yeah,
trading
trading
cards.
guy.
It's
Yeah, I'm
This gets
so surprised that his cards in his pocket. That is actually me, Mike. The fact that he was like, yeah, I just got them here.
He was playing earlier in his
I
head.
got them right here. I mean,
You gotta
on those cards now, you reminded me. I did want to ask because it seems like Magic was your first like introduction to trading card games.
Well, technically, I played Pokemon before that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
So
think
Pokemon was your
I'm gonna be honest, I think everyone starts off with Pokemon.
Yeah, I think everyone starts.
Yeah, but I
Maybe not
didn't.
now, but like
And then you need to go the D&D route and fantasy game.
But then Magic is my the game I got obsessed with, right? Like Pokemon, you kind of play.
Yeah.
Magic, also.
Yeah, because I wanted to ask. You say that I would predict that you would play Magic competitively. So why is that? Where did that come
Not.
from? Big man.
No, I didn't. I never had an opportunity to compete. You know, it's more so that like there's a barrier to entry. Like as a high school student,
He was just
right?
really
I can't. No, but I can't just be like, hey mom, can I drop $100 in a pile of cardboard? Right. Now that I'm a college student, I can do that if I want.
Drop as many hundreds of dollars.
I make poor financial decisions, and my parents can't stop me.
And you're a finance officer.
Yeah, I'm the finance. I am the RecCon finance officer.
Speaking of, how's RecCon looking for you this year?
It's been quite a bit of work, but now that we've divided the work up a little bit more.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. You know, like going into this year, we talked about like anxiety and stuff like that. But I feel like compared to last year, I think last year we were a little understaffed until the event happened. It wasn't just 3 people, carrying.
So yeah, I guess we'll deviate from Magic a little bit. We'll get to RecCon.
For a little bit.
We can talk about Magic relevant to RecCon because there's been a lot of things that happened there too.
Really?
Including Gavin Verhey.
Please tell us.
Do you want to talk about finance or do you want to talk about Magic?
Do both. Do both right.
Let's talk about Magic.
But I don't know how much about Gavin Verhey you guys have already talked about.
This is true.
Okay, so we mentioned specifically Gavin Verhey, lead designer.
Yes, he is the lead designer.
Lead designer.
We talked about him.
He is a cool guy,
He's awesome.
and apparently Trey lied because Trey said he plays White Day.
I thought he played
White Day. I think this is wrong.
Well, when I came up there,
He was
saw you had a
probably-
lot of help.
He was probably playing a White Day, but I mean it's not.
It probably wasn't his day. Like I mentioned before, he just says, hey, I want to see the cool stuff you guys make. Give me a day.
That's actually really cool. That's really cool. No, but we really didn't go into detail. I'm sure you know.
okay.
Okay.
You don't have to talk specifically about Gavin Verhey. I don't want to single this guy out. How is Magic the Gathering Day at the con?
But I have to talk about Gavin.
You have to.
Fine,
Yes,
fine,
yes,
I don't care. It's fine.
I think to rewind the clock. So yes, I deal with a lot of the finance
Yeah.
part of the organization, but also I am the Magic the Gathering guy, so I also engage in that. The general gist of it is last year we were lucky enough to have Gavin Verhey come to our convention and deliver a talk. Right? So when he arrived on campus, I ran into him and I was like, hey, I'm going to be happy to see you at the convention tomorrow. And then he was like, is anything going on tonight? I was like, oh, we just have Magic Club. Right? So it was really funny because I was like, hey, if you want to play Magic, pop in. So the normal crowd is playing Magic Club, and suddenly the lead designer walks in. It was like, hey Jeremy, and I was like, yo! And everybody was like, dude, this is great. And he played Magic that night.
Oh yeah, we came by because we were in the SGA room.
Yeah.
Just to come talk to him. You gave him his badge. I forgot about that.
It was
He's such like a personable guy.
Yeah.
Like the time I met him.
It was really cool, and that's why I have to talk about him. So he shows up that night, plays Magic. It's really great. The next day at the convention, we give him his space. I said, hey, do you want your panel to be about any topic? And he's like, the way I usually do these is that it's just a Q&A. So they get on stage, everybody asks us questions.
That's cool that he has a system already.
Yeah, it works. And I was like, okay, let's see. And tons of people asked him questions, right? We covered basically every topic. Yeah, he's the guy.
The guy.
Answered every single question about Magic possibly think of, right? Somebody asked him if he's making a legendary crab for his crab tribal deck. It's really funny. Like,
how many of these questions were like suggestions that was thrown?
I don't know if it was necessary
how to fix
suggestions.
the Magic the Gathering game.
I was definitely up there. I had the mic in my hand. Mic in my hand. You know, Gavin, your game sucks. Sorry, Magic, bad game.
Azeez is not taught on behalf of RecCon somehow. Just work that in there.
The questions are very inquisitive. I thought they
Gavin,
were
fix
very
it.
good.
Exactly. His game's broke.
But yeah, it was really, really fun just to see the mind of a game designer, right? And then afterwards, he was like, let's play Magic. And then if you wanted to, the Magic players went up to the club room and just, not the club room, the space we had for TCGs that day, and just played Magic. So it was really
That is actually a
Trey was telling us about he was planning to bring his like big Tupperware container of Magic and get Gavin to sign every single one. Sit there for 5 hours.
Our money's worth that.
Yeah, money's worth. You know.
He goes right back into the con.
He signed a bunch of cards. It was really cool. So
I did say though, I feel like it would be an affront to him if I didn't get him to sign cards that wasn't made by him. So.
You know, I think I have the funniest story.
I don't know if you
Gavin. We were with Gavin, it was organizers, and Jeremy said something like, oh, you know, my grades have suffered because of WreckCon, which is, by the way, don't want to say too much, but very true statement. And Gavin said something like, you know, man, like, stuff like this, referring to WreckCon, is like more important than your GPA will ever be. Which is like, what a statement to say. What a statement to say.
That's a life-changing statement. What
Dude, like, what a crazy thing to say to like a bunch of college students. It's like, yeah,
At a turning point in their lives.
get rid of your GPA, man.
WreckCon. Sell it all.
It's
for
true
WreckCon.
though.
I mean, it's true. Like, he's not wrong, but it's
Like, imagine if you never did WreckCon, you wouldn't like know. There's so many more people you know because of it. You know.
because it's like, I mean,
It's not even that. It's
yeah,
community. And it's just like.
I feel like you don't meet a lot of
You learn a
people
lot
like
of
that.
things too.
You don't meet a lot of people like that are like they understand like the value of community event over like
It's cool to get reassurance from someone who's like, yeah,
who like knows what
fuck
they're
it,
doing.
go
Yeah,
for it.
do it.
You know?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's very nice to like
It's
hear that
reassuring.
from somebody who's like so completely successful. That like stuff like this matters.
This convention has been a once in a lifetime experience.
No, you're never gonna get anything like it. Like I don't think anyone. I mean, not everyone can say they made a convention.
Although to
You
be
needed
fair,
that feeling.
I would agree that the quantum final that I did not do so well on that was a different type of once in a lifetime experience. But you know, this
You're gonna fail the next one. Don't worry.
No, I'm done with quantum, dude. I'm out. I'm new.
Where are you? You have to observe.
Yeah, I have to observe.
Mm.
Don't ever talk to me about atoms again. all I have is RedCon on the line.
You know, in your previous history with these podcasts, physics questions tend to not do so well with you.
You know, Jeremy, I think we're reaching the end of the session.
I think so.
But I wanna hit you with some quick stuff, right? So
Quick
we
stuff,
are
okay, you're fine.
we are currently 43 days, I think, from RedCon, right?
Wow.
And obviously, I don't want you to like spill inner RedCon secrets, but I did want to ask you, as like finance head of RedCon, as exec, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good actually.
Feeling good? You feeling good?
I think the planning is a lot better this year
Yeah.
because it's a more structured.
And we had the schedule from last year,
Yeah.
kind of build up.
And yeah, I don't want to spill too much of it.
Yeah, obviously.
Right, but it's just more so
Yeah,
that
our money, we're definitely not an extortion scheme. Sorry, continue.
We're looking for sponsorships though, so if you feel like you want to sponsor RedCon, drop us an email.
Sorry, please continue.
But yeah, it's just so that because there's an organization behind it and we've done it once before, right? I feel a lot more relaxed. It's like the assurance that we conquered last year's, right? With so much work, and we can definitely do it again this year. Right? It's really good.
Is there anything you're particularly worried about or you're thinking about as the days lead up to the con?
Particularly worried about.
Yeah. I mean, maybe me and Trey. I think part of what we were talking about was that like there's already expectations for the con. Because like the first year, like even like a month before. I mean, technically it wasn't the first con, but like even a month before, you like really don't know what to expect. But like here, like I mean, we had Gavin Verhey last time. He was a hit, so like you gotta
outdo it.
Like you have to meet that or top that somehow.
I see.
Like,
I think I'm less.
You gotta keep it consistent. Like
Yeah.
new rotations of Magic the Gathering.
yeah, it can't go down, man. All right, next Wizards of the Coast CEO coming in.
No, it's more so. I think I agree with what you're saying. Like
Yeah.
there might be some sort of expectation. I put that out of my mind for now because I think that because we faced so much adversity last year
Yeah.
that this year I feel like
We're continuing to face it.
yeah we are for sure, but I feel like we can handle. So that's the mindset I'm going. And I agree. There is an air of expectation, but I think we can do well. And if we continue thinking that direction, I think it'll be just fine.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, pretty optimistic note, thank you for that, Jeremy. I think we can probably wrap up the podcast.
Yeah.
But before we leave, Jeremy, Magic the Gathering Club, where can we find you? You already said it on the
Plug
podcast.
yourself,
Just
right?
plug
Oh
yourself
yes,
right
yes.
now.
Where's
One more time.
can editor here? GTMTG.org. You'll find
Watch them do nothing.
Yeah, find them there.
Watch.
Find
GTMTG.org.
Wait,
There's
wait.
an Instagram link somewhere.
I got
Where
this.
see his face.
Friday evenings,
Yep.
7 p.m.
Yes.
Student Center,
Yes.
Third floor?
Third floor. Yeah.
North Side. I
North
think.
side. Yeah, the room is called North Side. Actually, I think they changed the name of that.
Right next to the graduate, whatever.
All right.
But yeah, you can find the club, gtmtg.org, or on Georgia Tech's official Engage page, and we're also
Ooh.
on Instagram,
Nice.
GT MTG.
Yeah, I'll be sure to point all that.
Awesome.
Well, I hope to see y'all there at the next GTMTD meeting. I will be playing against Trey with a red blue deck. No, blue white deck.
I think I will just beat you up. I
It'll
think
be so
that's
fun.
exactly
It'll be so
what
fun.
I think it
Guys,
is life in real life.
I'm begging
Wait
you.
a second.
Everyone, please show up with the same exact blue white deck, and we will all destroy Trey. It'll be so much fun.
I think no matter what, you'll
You
just
play 4 players free for all, but 3 of you target Trey.
No, it's just mono
Three of us
blue.
are
That's the.
and 3 of us have the exact same blue white deck. The Trey just hates he just despises.
You're doing it 3 times over to make sure I can't do anything.
All right, but on that note, yeah, thank y'all for watching, and we'll
Great
see y'all
having you.
later.
Great to have you here, man.
Have a good evening.
Y'all take care.
Peace.
WreckCast.